dressed up for the occasion.
I dressed up for the occasion. Money, money, money.
You're right.
Hey, Carly.
Hello.
We are live. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Nancy. How are you?
I'm so good and I'm so pumped to have you here tonight. I think what we've got to discuss is going to be very could be actually transformative for some clinics. But what are we talking about tonight?
Hope so.
Yeah. If people have bought a device and they don't know what to
Yes.
do, then this is it.
Yes.
So, good evening, everyone. And
Share.
tonight is super special because I'm having an exciting conversation because I'm joined by no one more knowledgeable than Carly Knowles from Bella Powell Body Clinic. Carly is the founder of one of Australia's most recognised and consistently high-performing clinics, no pressure, Carly, and multi-AVIA award-winning, which, as we all know, is not something you can achieve by chance, but something that comes from systems, structures, and consistency over time. And what I really respect about Carly is that it's not just about awards or results, it's about how the business actually runs behind the scenes, right? Oh my God.
Correct. That's the most important part.
All right. And so the team, the client journey, the way treatments are positioned, and most importantly, how the clinic turns treatments and technology into real consistent revenue is what we're going to be talking about tonight. Because there's a big difference between buying a device and actually making it work in your business. And Carly, you've done this multiple times successfully, and now you're working with other clinics and other clinic owners through your coaching, helping them refine their systems, improve their numbers, and build more structured, profitable clinics. True?
Yes, we are 100%. We are trying to do that and help as many people in the industry as we can, because it is a really scary thing buying a device. Like, it's a lot of money, and it doesn't, everyone's scale of a lot of money is totally different as well. So whether you're buying a $30,000 device or a $230,000 device, and I've got both ends of the scale, it's still a bloody lot of money, and you want to know how to get that return on investment as quick as possible, but not even just about the return on investment. How do you utilize that device effectively in the clinic long term? Not just when it launches, we want to be ongoing with that.
Totally. And so, Carly, on point, I just want to thank you so much for joining me and everyone on here tonight. And I just want to dive straight into it. And I've got a whole heap of questions. You and I are both oversharers. We love to talk a lot.
It could go on for hours. Give us a microphone and we will dance that stage.
So if you've got any other questions, please, make sure you write in the comments box there. We already have, I think, is it Jody saying hello to us, Jody Cartwright.
That's the number one supporter, Jocelyn.
Yeah. So if you do have any questions, pop it in the comments and we'll answer those as we go along. But first up, so when you focus more, I don't even know if I asked you this beforehand, but what do you focus more on? Is it education first or is it results first?
Oh, it's always education first. Like, that is definitely a priority for me. And it's not just like the initial part of the education. I feel like a lot of clinics, or just a lot of people in our industry, there's this thing where they think that they can train in something once and then that is it. And it really needs to be an ongoing commitment as far as the education sides of things go, because that ongoing training and education isn't just important in our industry. It's got to be absolutely foundational for a start. And confidence doesn't come from knowing a little bit about a lot of things. It really comes from clarity, consistency, and repetition. So, for me, it's not just about training once. As I said, it's about training, retraining, and staying constantly engaged in learning all the time. And the reality of that is that our industry evolves rapidly, and what's considered best practice today may not be best practice in 6 months' time. And device developers, as you know, Nancy, being a distributor, continuously refine their technologies and they improve their protocols all the time, and they're, you know, always finding more effective ways to deliver results. So learning something once doesn't really mean that you're done. It's just really the starting point. So that definitely is the first thing for me, and especially when buying a device, it's got to come with decent education.
Okay, and I guess leading on from that would be then, and you know how much I believe in education, that we have to talk about that. But yeah, so leading on from that is when you actually bring on a new device into your clinic, where do you start and how do you introduce it to your clients in a way that builds trust and interest?
So firstly, I start with the strategy, not really the device. So when we make a purchase, we really want to optimize the impact of that energy-based device by seamlessly integrating it into our services. And this kind of entails a detailed process of evaluating your market demand first, pinpointing what the competitive advantages are, and then creating comprehensive plans for success. So you really need to understand that the gaps, or understand what those gaps in your current treatment offerings are, to then determine how a new laser or a device, or, you know, a laser device or any other device, it could be just like a microdermabrasion machine, whatever it is, or it might be I'm buying a new skincare range or peels or whatever. This goes for everything, not just laser devices, but finding out how it can fill those gaps and then consider the types of treatments that you really want to expand on and improve. And I think that clinic owners need a little bit of a focus on crafting effective marketing strategies and then emphasising continuous education for that safe and effective treatment journey. We've covered that, but you know, originally for me, when we first decided that we needed a device in our clinic, this is me when I was just starting out with my very first laser purchase, and I had a clinic for many years before I actually invested. But we basically responded to the demand for advanced hair removal and skin treatments in our demographic at the time. We analysed, you know, what industry trends there were, and then we considered the clinical effectiveness and versatility of any potential devices that were on the market at the time. And, you know, evaluating that return on investment and factoring in all of your upfront costs and your revenue potential was really a key aspect for me. And that's kind of something I've stuck to with the next purchase and the next purchase and the next purchase. So I sort of have a bit of a formula now that I stick by because it's worked for me time and time again.
Yeah.
So, and then also one other thing before I move on from that, Nancy, is ongoing support from our device distributors as well. And I know that this is relevant because I'm speaking to you tonight, but it is pivotal for us and it should be pivotal for everybody else, because it really does ensure that our staff remains proficient, not only during that initial purchase, but also in that long-term future, like I did say before. And I've sort of found that from talking to other clinic owners who are thinking about, you know, making that device purchase, that most people jump sort of straight to the how do I promote it? Yeah. And I'm like, you know, the real starting point needs to be, where does this fit into the client journey for us? Who is it for? What problems is it going to solve? And, you know, where does it sit between my existing services? Because if you can't clearly position it yourself as the clinic owner, then your client's never going to understand it either. And, you know, devices don't make money, treatment pathways make money.
Love that. So true. And I think if the client's confused, like your staff are going to be confused, and you're sending out a confused messages to where you're focused and what you're trying to deliver.
100%.
So yeah, I think the strategy is the biggest one, and I think that's where a lot of beauty therapists who happen to own clinics get confused.
Yeah, I feel like a lot from like what I've worked with over the years, or even just, you know, networking with people, and then it comes up in conversation, is that they think that a device purchase is going to change their business. Yeah. It's going to give them this big pot of money, and I'm like, it can, but there's got to be strategy. You don't just make the purchase. It's like, you know, build it and they will come. That is not how you've got to go into this journey. You've got to have a strategy, and you've got to make sure that you do all of that groundwork and research at the start.
That's so important. And look, and I totally agree with you that sometimes, we'll have a clinic who will go, look, just tell me what I need to buy. What is it that I need to buy? And I'll just do it. And
Yeah,
it's sometimes I'll say, actually, you don't need to buy anything. It's just look at your strategy, what you're doing, what you're underutilizing, how you can combine. But it definitely comes down to strategy. So
yeah.
it's not just buying a shiny new toy.
And the gaps, like fill the gaps that you've got. Don't
Yep.
buy something of the same kind of what you've already got that's sitting in the corner collecting dust. Like that would be a stupid decision, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And I do agree. I mean, you say it so bluntly, it's a stupid decision, but it's so true.
But you know me, Nancy, I'm the one.
It's true. Yeah, I
There's
know.
no BS here.
No, that's so true. All right, well, moving on. So, how do you actually create that demand before you actually even launch a new treatment rather than waiting for the clients to ask for it?
Okay, well, there's a bit here.
It's a lot,
Because
sorry.
I think the biggest thing for this, like there is a few elements to this in my opinion, but launching your campaigns early is the thing that works amazing for me, and anyone that I've coached to do that, it works amazing for them as well. And basically you don't want to wait for the new device to arrive before you start promoting it. So once you've made the decision that it's definitely going to come in, you need to start creating that buzz well in advance to really generate that interest and excitement with your consumers. Pre-selling launch promotions as well can be a really great way to secure early appointments. It also helps to boost that cash flow because you've just dropped a ton of money. So you want to start to recoup some of those costs. So that's a great thing too. And building that excitement in your community. And also use teasers and like sneak peeks and engaging content to really generate that interest and curiosity on your social media and any other channels that you might market as well. And get your staff, this is probably the biggest one, is get your staff to talk about, what's coming soon to every single client that comes through your practice. Like it really should be the topic of conversation so that they're really planting that seed. So for example, for us, we purchased an IPL and a non-ablative fractionated laser device a year and a half ago. And so our intro to IPL and NAFL campaign, I don't like the word campaign, but I'll use it in this example, that we ran it wasn't last year, it was just towards the end of the year before that. So it's a year and a bit ago. We purchased our new selective waveband IPL device and it generated $35,000 in just 4 weeks.
Wow.
And that was before the device even arrived. And we just promoted it through social media and showcasing before and after images. And it really gave our clients some insight into what was coming. And we just also gave our clients some marketing material in-house, with the therapist recommendations. They're like, oh, here's a flyer, take it and read it. And they'd sort of circle what they would recommend for them to book in for. And a lot of the girls, as I said, they sold packages before because clients were like, I want to do it as soon as it comes. Well, there'll be a massive wait list here. So if you want to be the first in, put your money down, you're first cab off the rank. So that's one part of it. Also, staff training and education. And please cut me off if I'm rambling on because there is a lot under this topic. But the staff training and education, as we've already sort of unpacked. So you need to make sure that all of the team members in the clinic, so from the doctors, the nurses and the therapists, right through to the receptionists and the front of house staff, are thoroughly trained on the new devices capabilities, the safety protocols, the quoting, the client communication, like the thorough patient consultations to really ensure that there's consistent and confident service delivery as well.
Yep.
Another one is that phased introduction.
Yeah.
So I always start by introducing a new laser treatment to sort of a select group of our regular clients. Or combining it in with some existing treatments. And this just allows for that smoother adjustments and provides that opportunity to really gather feedback from the people that you trust the most, that love your business and iron out those creases if they're not getting quite the results that they should at the start because you're still kind of learning.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
So yeah, and also adopting that cherry picking style approach where, we're recommending skin treatments that are tailored to the client's condition at the time of the appointment, rather than them booking something in that they don't really know that much about, and then them choosing, and you go, well, she just booked an IPL, but you're looking at it going, well, actually she should be having non-ablative fractionated laser or layering both, maybe, whatever it is, for as an example. So, and I think that is kind of what sets our clinic apart, is that unique combination of therapies, personalised treatment plans, and that commitment to clinical skincare and those advanced technologies.
Yeah, spot on. And I think personalization is something that the consumer really wants. Like you said, customization, personalization. And, I feel like, adding on to what you're saying, if you're already delivering X and Y, needling and LED, for example, packaging it up now and with an advanced modality such as your IPL, it's just really sort of taking it that step forward. And your clients are actually going to see that anyway, because they know that you're doing what's best for their skin by personalizing it as well. So definitely, yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying there.
Also making sure, because this comes around a little bit too, is like making sure that there's like clear communication and consent as well around that part of it. So updating those consultation processes and consent forms to include information about that new laser treatment that you might be bringing in. So that makes sure that the clients are well informed and helps to manage their expectations.
Yeah.
So sometimes people will just use a standard, laser form, but it's not specific to that device's capabilities, and it's not asking quite the right questions to match that new device. So making sure that, for us, every single device we've got 3 million consultation forms, and it's meticulously selected for that treatment. I find some people don't tend to do that, and it seems like a simple thing, but some people just aren't thinking about it.
And when I had my clinic as well, it was the same thing. We had a consultation form for one for needling, one for IPL, one for this, one for that. And yes, there's a lot, but it's addressing that particular treatment and that person's skin.
And it's so much easier now anyway, because a lot of our stuff is digital. So we can have a form put together through our software systems that it links up to your iPads. You can pre-send it out to your clients, whatever, however you're doing it. But there's still, even if we're still doing the old paper form ones, it's still possible. It's just a little bit of work for you to do.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm going to keep moving because already...
And another thing... Sorry, am I going on too much?
No, it's valuable. It's valuable. Go.
I think support and maintenance as well from, that ongoing, making sure that if you're buying a device that you've got that ongoing support, because I've been caught out in the past where I've purchased a device and then it is crickets from the company afterwards, and I've got, a blown flash lamp or whatever, and I can't get any repairs, and then I'm, getting quoted secondhand parts, which is not ideal either. So that is another pivotal thing for me too.
That's so important. I think the support, let's say you've got 10, clients booked in, even 5, and your device has gone sort of down, something's happened, and the company can't get back to you for 1, 2, 3 weeks, forget the days, but even weeks, it's detrimental, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
That's important. But going back into the whole marketing thing we were talking about, and I think a lot of clinics really get that, either they can get it right or they completely miss the opportunity when they're launching. So let's talk about strategies. So what marketing strategies actually work when promoting new technology? And what do you think clinics should be avoiding?
Well, I think firstly, developing a marketing campaign that educates clients about the new device's benefits and unique results. So, as I said before, using social media, maybe it's newsletters or email outs, however you engage with that marketing material with your customers, in-clinic promotions, and then those before and after photos to just build that excitement initially. And then create attractive introductory offers, or even we do this a lot, is bundled packages that combine, the new laser treatments with your existing services. So it encourages clients to try the new offering and increases their overall spend. And remember that value adding, this is very important here. I've got a passion about not discounting, but value adding is often better than discounting because it maintains that perceived quality of your services and preserves your brand's integrity. So, focusing on value reinforces that commitment to quality and that client satisfaction that we want, which is really vital for the long-term success and the launch of that device.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, I don't like to discount. It's like, well, what are you adding? A mask or an LED or just, value adding 100%. Do you think that's something that they, clinics that they should be avoiding and that's actually wrong? Obviously,
I
yes.
think heavily discounting is probably the thing that I would avoid the most because it just devalues the entire industry. You really, discounting's the worst thing to kill our industry. And price wars as well, like stick in your lane. Don't worry about what they're doing down the road because they probably don't have the exact same technology, or even if they do, figure out how you can have a point of difference.
Yeah.
Do something extra in the treatment, be the wow factor clinic. Do something that's better than the people around you and stick in your lane and do not put any energy into worrying about everyone else.
Totally. I always say when I'm teaching, I say there are three things and we can only ever pick two, and it's time, cost, quality. So the time should be the time that it takes to deliver the treatment. The cost, I think if you're going to deliver quality, you can't discount. So we can't do all three. We can't, do something really fast, deliver really good quality and make it cheap. It's just your business will just go under. So you can competing on price is really easy. I can discount my, full face rejuvenation to $100, and anyone can do that, but it's not sustainable. But I think you can't, it's very hard to compete on real high quality. And so if you can deliver quality, don't discount, if that makes sense. Time, cost, quality.
And if you've got good training, your confidence should be there to be able to deliver that high quality result.
Exactly. Did I confuse you then?
No, not at all. I've got this itchy nose. I'm trying not to cough.
Go cough away. It's okay.
I've got a broken leg under the table.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. And you're still practically running around. Well, not really. You're scooting around. Oh, geez.
Scooting around on this little scooter. I'm such a loser. But anyway, it's
no,
fine.
You're not a loser. Oh my gosh. You're a winner. If
Getting on with it. Jody's had an absolute gut full of me at work.
Scooting around.
Doing everything.
Your videos are so good, but that's another topic. Anyway, your reels, I should say. I sound so old. Your videos.
A little bit out of character.
Anyway, all right, number 4. So, how do you position your team and your clinic as experts when introducing something new?
Well, there's 2 parts to this one for me. So, ongoing training and education, as we said before. So, it's foundational. That's what I said earlier. So I won't even go down that because that ongoing education commitment is very important. And then the second part of that is that any true professional understands that without the proper tools, there's just a limit to what can be accomplished, and also the quality of the outcomes and the results. So if you really want to give your clients, the beautiful or healthy skin that they deserve, you're relying on either a single device or a poor quality device. It actually isn't really enough anymore because people are just getting too savvy. Yeah. So instead, you really should offer that multimodal approach, utilising either a range of energy-based devices like I do, or, even treatment techniques, just increasing the amount of treatment techniques that you might have in your business, and, other treatment modalities that are out there too to meet those diverse needs of the clients. And then, like an example, in my clinic, we have a wide array of skin treatments and energy-based devices, and while not every clinic needs to have as many devices as what we've got, it is actually crucial to have at least, a few energy-based devices or energy-based tools, let's say, available in any reputable practice. That's definitely one part of it. And I think you know, it would be so ideal, wouldn't it, to, and I'm sure, Nancy, you have probably deep dived this across the globe, but it would be so ideal to have that one size fits all laser or device. But you know, as we know, it's very challenging because there's, you know, different skin issues occurring at varying depths and they require different lasers for effective treatment. So, but fortunately, there's companies like you that are starting to develop those solutions with the introduction of those multi-application platforms. So that's really exciting for clinics like me who are ready for that. Because we can now have a couple of things or a couple of hand pieces, or, you know, it's really like two machines in one, or sometimes it can be three machines in one. So, you know, I think if you really want to distinguish your business as a high level clinic, it's really essential to position yourself at that intersection of beauty and science and offer that holistic approach to treatments.
I think, yeah, holistic is the key here. So just as a side little question I've got for you, like how important is internal confidence before external promotion?
Like, you need to be confident that you're not going to hurt people. So,
I love hurting people.
excuse me. You want to make sure that, yeah, there's no adverse events that are going to occur. So
It's different.
But I think, you know, holding back, I'd see this so much, especially with my young girls in the clinic. I put them through training. I put them through training again. I put them through another batch of training. I've spent $20,000 on training and you guys are not even on the device still because they're like, oh, I'm not confident. Sometimes it is a little bit of a frustration and a pain point for me, and I'm sure it is for other clinic owners out there. So, you know, I've got a lot of background in light-based device treatments, but I'm not confident every time I purchase a new device until I start going along and testing it. And this is probably coming back to that selective group of clients that trust me and they know I'm not going to over-treat them. I'd rather under-treat them and tell them they need more treatments while I'm starting out with a device. And then I can start to increase as I'm getting more confident.
Yeah. And I also think that sometimes I'll actually deliver training and they won't have the treatments. And it's like, no, get on the bed. You're having the treatment. Like, I think the internal, like the staff, they have to feel it. And so if it doesn't matter, like it could be the best device. If you're not feeling it, then how are you going to deliver, you know, the outcomes and the results if you're not actually on the bed yourself as a therapist? So I think internal confidence is so important. Like you just...
And it's also not even just the initial feeling of the treatment. We want them to experience the downtime because then they can confidently tell their client in their consultation what to expect. So it bridges that gap between the client's expectations and, you know, and the results that you're wanting to deliver. It's like it's a no-brainer. Like my girls have to have, if they're going to operate a device, they've got to have the treatment, they've got to know what to expect, they've got to have all the training, they've got to have enough practice. It all goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love it. See, you know what I'm talking about. All right. And so once the device is actually launched, how do you then turn that initial interest into consistent bookings and strong return on investment?
So with this one, I think that the biggest mistake that clinics make is treating a device treating a device launch like a campaign. And that's why I said I don't love the word campaign, instead of bedding it into their everyday treatment model. So the launch will always give you that initial spike of interest, which is fantastic, but strong return on investment really does come from what happens after that. So, you know, for us, it comes down to that integration. You know, we don't sell it as a standalone treatment. We build it into the existing client journeys so it becomes a part of, you know, their pre-treatment preparation, the post-treatment recovery, and ongoing maintenance program. So it becomes like, I mean, particularly laser, we talk about it's laser season. It's a season, they know this is a seasonal thing that I have to do to upkeep the results. And then that way it's, you know, not something that clients try once, it's something that they expect as a part of their results as their commitment to your business as well. So most of our clients know that, as I said, every winter, They're to do that series of let's just talk about IPL, for example. They'll do their IPL treatments to maintain their initial results. And then we use the summer months to sort of prep their skin. So we're still keeping the conversation going with them through the summer months. And I'm saying to them all the time, like, oh, prepping, can't wait to get your skin fitness ready for laser season, constantly talking that language through those summer months so that they're not forgetting about those serious treatments that they're going to commit to in the winter.
True, so true.
Can you imagine my clients just saying no to me? I'm not doing that. They're like, okay, I'll do it.
And look, some people get pushed back. I know some therapists are like, oh, we get the no, like we won't buy the ABC or won't do the skin prep, but it's like, but it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Like that, you've got to talk about non-negotiables, and that comes down to even their prepping products that go with these treatments, tyrosinase inhibitors, sunscreen, all the non-negotiables. It's like, if you're not going to commit to all of this, you are not having these treatments done. And I have no worries about turning people away if they're not going to commit and do it safely and do it the right way, because then we're just not going to get the results, and it's a waste of my time and it's a waste of their time and money.
Absolutely. And I think, we have to have that language about what is non-negotiable. Do you think there are any other systems or habits that are, apart from that are non-negotiable as well?
I think, do you mean for just the overall? Like I was going to say consistency in consultation, but do you specifically mean for the client to do?
Yeah, I think like for the client or even for the clinic. Actually, let's not talk about the client because this is about B2B. So for the clinic and the therapist, what are other non-negotiables, do you think?
Definitely, as I was going to say, consistency in consultation. Like, you have to make sure your team are consistent. Every client interaction needs to become an opportunity to recommend.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be, in a salesy way as such, but it needs to be part of a clear results-driven plan from your team, and they need to not sway from that. If they get lazy, they sway from that, you lose that trust and loyalty from the customer. And also tracking and refining is another one too. So, looking at your numbers, looking at your rebooking rates, treatment frequency, client outcomes, and continuously adjusting how you position it, and build that stuff into your KPIs for your team to hold them accountable as well. Because at the end of the day, a strong return on investment doesn't actually come from how well you launch a device. It comes from how well you integrate it into the clinic long term. So, that you've got to be firm with your team and do not let them sway from what the rules are around. This is our device and these are the rules around it, and this is what we expect from you. A lot of clinics don't tell their teams what they expect from them. And then how are they supposed to know?
But I think this is where the problem is, and this is what I said a little bit earlier, that a beauty therapist who happened to become a business owner, because it's not, oftentimes I don't think it's planned. We just fall into this, hey, now we have a clinic, because we start off solo. So it's just, it's one-on-one. We don't have a team. Then the next thing we find ourselves, oh, we need help. And now we've got 3, team members, and now we have 10 team members or whatever it might be. And we fall into being a business owner. It's not actually a strategy. It's an accident. And so I think this is where you and your services and you becoming a coach is really important, because most, business owners don't even think about the KPI, or they don't even think about, oh, what's a return on investment? They don't know this stuff. They're not an accountant. They don't know their figures. They don't know their numbers. I think it's something that's actually needs to be taught, and it's actually learned, right?
And I'm a perfect example of that, Nancy. I winged this for a long time. I've been in business, it's coming up to 20 years now. So I started on the Gold Coast and had a business there in Mermaid Beach. And then my regional Victoria clinic that I'm in now is our second location. And we had a bit of an overlap for 5 years of both clinics. And I certainly think back at some of my early Gold Coast days, and I think, I winged that. That was luck that business was successful, because I didn't know my numbers. I had no KPIs. I was just letting staff roll in and roll out when they wanted to. There was no structure, no planning. I just turned up to work every day and was an amazing beauty therapist.
Yeah.
And my clients loved me. So I was good at sales naturally, but there was no plan. It was just winging it every day.
Yeah, and like I hear you and I feel you as well. So I think this information's been so valuable and you're being honest. And I think this is just an amazing information session. So thank you so much for sharing that. It's such an important and valuable conversation because so many clinics invest in devices but don't always have that strategy behind them. And so that's just very enlightening indeed. And what you're sharing is just really highlights that it's not just about the device, it's about how you introduce it, it's how you educate your clients, how your team understand it, and how you build consistency around it. I think, am I freezing, by the way?
No, you're not too bad. You're all right on my end. Hopefully you're not freezing for everyone else.
I know. I
Like a
feel
robot.
I do. I feel like I'm like robotic and I'm freezing. So I just don't know if it's just me, but anyway. But look, I honestly love that you're now supporting other clinic owners through your coaching as well, because that's the kind of guidance that clinics actually need, and it will help them move through from being just busy to actually being truly profitable and structured. So if anyone is actually listening and they need, well, actually this resonated with them and they feel like that they need to invest in a little bit of, help with you, how can they reach out to you, Carly?
So they can reach out to me either through Bellapel, my clinic is on Instagram is the easiest at Bellapel, BELLAPELLE, or Carly Skin Guru is my other handle. So you can just send us a DM there. I've got my little PA that filters my messages through and she'll get it to me, no problem.
Yeah. If you haven't followed Carly on Bellapel, her Instagram is absolutely hilarious, especially the first three.
We put a disclaimer on the wall.
The one that you walk in, there's that sort of the glad wrap or whatever it is. I think I love it. Every time I watch it, it's hilarious. I piss myself laughing. So it's just so funny. But yeah, so thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me, Nancy. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, whoever's joined us tonight. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for joining me, Carly. And for all of you who have tuned in tonight, I hope you got a lot of value out of that information. There was just so many gold nuggets there in 39 minutes. That's a record. Oh my God.
And I talk a lot too. So
do I.
It's good.
So thank you for joining us. We've got a few people who are saying thank you. So Crystal, thank you. Jody, biggest supporter and cheerleader. But I will see everyone here at 8 p.m. next Tuesday. I've got a surprise because I've got no idea what we're talking about, but that's a surprise.
That is the best surprise.
All right, over and out. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, man.
All right. Good night.